Two men who attempted to import multi-ton quantities of cocaine from South America and laundered the profits through Hatton Garden Gold Merchant have been jailed. Matthew Byrne, 44, from Sevenoaks, and Beau Devlin, 33, from East London, were brought to justice by the Organised Crime Partnership, a joint national crime agency, Metropolitan Police Service. The pair used the encrypted devices to discuss their offending, with Byrne using the handles Slickvalley and officialcleaner, and Devlin known as scalpcleaner. The pair had attempted to import around 5 tons of cocaine between March 2020 and June 2020 via a number of ports in Europe, including Antwerp and the UK. They also discussed smuggling between 5 and 10 tons of the drug at a time across the previous 8 years. The pair had significant contacts in the criminal world, including a firearms dealer who Byrne plotted to break free from a prison van after he was arrested. Byrne and Devlin had a detailed knowledge of cocaine smuggling routes, methods and contacts, including South American cocaine wholesalers. They mostly used banana consignments as cover loads, creating companies to act as fronts. Byrne ordered Devlin to burn pallets that only contained bananas and used as part of dummy runs, as they were unable to sell the fruit legitimately. There is a reference to these dummy runs alone costing £300,000. Byrne discussed the use of plug cars or vehicles with specially constructed hides to conceal drugs and money, and communicated with a handle called the plug boss who built these. Byrne messaged another criminal associate to say that lorry drivers would be paid $50,000 each to smuggle 250 kilos of cocaine, but refused to reimburse their fuel costs. Some messages showed that he and Devlin paid $3 million for one particular load of 600 kilos of cocaine, which they would have sold at a higher price in the UK. Byrne also traded in prohibited weapons and discussed buying Mach 11 submachine guns. He supplied a contact called Jody Hall, who used the encroach handle Unbeaten Moose, and arranged for a third party known as the Boxer to inspect the firearms to confirm if they were a good investment. Hall was arrested in July 2020 while collecting a firearm Byrne was selling via another contact, which turned out to be one which the Boxer had inspected. Further messages from Byrne showed he was aware of Hall's arrest, discussing the type of police officers involved and the possibility of helping him escape by springing him from a prison van. Hall, 51, of Carter's Hill Close, Mottingham, Bromley, pleaded guilty to firearms and drugs offences and was jailed for 12 years in 2020. Byrne and Devlin laundered their criminal profits through Chris O'Shea, who owned a jeweller in the Hatton Garden, and used the encroach handle All-Star Gin. Both men exchanged cash with O'Shea for clean money, gold bars and designer watches. Byrne laundered hundreds of thousands of pounds in cash at a time and bought gold for himself and others, including 10-15, at a price of around $40,000 per bar. He tasked Devlin with transferring cash gold to and from O'Shea. Devlin personally requested $100,000 in clean, new £20 notes, for which he agreed to pay O'Shea 3% commission. O'Shea, 56, of Avery Hill Road, New Eltham, pleaded guilty to money laundering and drugs offences in January 2024 and was jailed for 11 years. OCP officers arrested Byrne and Devlin in October 2020. At Byrne's address, they seized $20,000 in cash from a bedside drawer, correspondence showing large amounts of cash in bank accounts, designer clothing, and a brand new Jaguar car and an encrypted phone. It was also noted that he was building a house next door. Byrne's girlfriend's address was also searched, where officers had to break through an expensive reinforced door. They found various other items showing signs of wealth inside the house, such as designer clothing and leaflets for villas for sale in Portugal, a taser, and correspondence in Devlin's name were found when they searched Byrne's parents' home. Devlin's address, then in Weald Road, Sevenoaks, was also searched. Officers found CS spray, a surveillance bug detecting kit, around 5,000 in cash, a large number of designer items such as shoes, clothing and jewellery. The NCA's investigation formed part of Operation Phonetic. The UK NCA-led law enforcement response to the takedown of the encrypted service in June 2020. Byrne and Devlin pleaded guilty to drugs and money laundering offences at Maidstone Crown Court on the 9th of January this year. Firearms charges against Byrne will now lie on file. At the same court, on the 7th of March, Byrne was sentenced to 21.5 years imprisonment and Devlin to 17 years imprisonment. Andrew Tickner, NCA Operations Manager from the OCP, said Matthew Byrne and Beau Devlin were at the pinnacle of this highly sophisticated and organised criminal group. They were responsible for flooding the UK streets with enormous quantities of cocaine via their contacts for onward sale, laundering the profits via gold and expensive watches. They were across every stage of the drugs journey, from South America, going to the trouble of organising dummy runs in an attempt to trick law enforcement into believing that they were running a legitimate business. Although Byrne's firearms venture would have made him a useful contact to those in the criminal underworld, it's chilling to think about the violence and intimidation these weapons would have unleashed. These are the latest in a very long line of extremely dangerous offenders brought to justice because of Operation Phonetic. He added, "We continue to work with partners at home and abroad to target organised criminals who pose the greatest risk to the UK by being at the forefront of the Class A drugs and firearms supply chain. The Organised Crime Partnership, formerly the Middle Market Drugs Partnership, has been in operation for 20 years and is comprised of equal numbers of specialist NCA officers and Metropolitan Police detectives. The teams works to stop the flow of drugs to the criminal market in London, target upstream criminals that impact on London, as well as disrupting those overseas that make huge profits from this illegal activity." Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.